It happened so suddenly, no one was prepared. News broke late in the evening. Khadiyah Lewis, the unforgettable star who once lit up Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, was gone. Within minutes, shockwaves tore through the reality TV world. Social media went wild as old friends and rivals alike rushed to post their heartbreak. But none hit harder than young Jock's raw, emotional message. "I can't believe you're really gone. This isn't real." As fans scrolled through old clips and behind-the-scenes photos, rumors started swirling. Was this just a tragic loss, or was there something more beneath the surface? Insiders whispered about secret battles, unfinished business, and calls left unanswered. Emotions ran high. Family and cast members clashed behind closed doors, each blaming the other for letting things spiral. Fans are shocked, desperate for the truth. What really happened in Khadiyah's final days, and why did her bond with Jock turn so complicated? As drama erupts from Atlanta to Hollywood, one thing's clear: no one will ever see Love and Hip Hop the same way again. Tonight, we take you inside the heartbreak, the accusations, and the secrets that still threaten to tear her circle apart. Get ready, because this story is only just beginning. The moment the world learned that Khadiyah Lewis was gone, everything changed. It wasn't just another headline for gossip blogs or a trending hashtag. It was a moment that shook the heart of Atlanta and sent ripples far beyond the love and hip-hop community. Fans flooded social media with heartbreak emojis, old clips, and tribute videos. Some couldn't believe it was real, others demanded answers, and a few whispered that there had to be more to the story than anyone knew. Even before the sun rose, Atlanta was a city in mourning, but underneath all the sorrow, drama was brewing just out of sight. Inside young Jock's home, emotions ran high. Friends described him as shattered, pacing the floor with swollen eyes and a phone that never stopped buzzing. Barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Khadiyah's laugh, remembered private jokes, and felt the weight of everything left unsaid between them. Those close to him say he was tormented by guilt. What if he'd answered her last text? What if he'd reached out sooner? Jock's mother, worried sick, tried to pull him back from the edge, but he brushed her off, insisting, "I just need to be alone." Still, no matter how hard he tried, there was no escaping the tidal wave of grief and regret. Fans are shocked to discover that in her final days, Khadiyah had been reaching out to people from her past, making mysterious phone calls and sending cryptic messages. One friend received a text that read, "It's time for the truth to come out." Another shared a voicemail from Khadiyah, her voice trembling, saying she needed to clear the air before it's too late. Soon, rumors began swirling. What was the secret she wanted to reveal, and who was she trying to protect? Meanwhile, the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast found themselves dragged into the spotlight. Like it or not, Mimi posted a tearful video confessing she'd lost touch with Khadiyah and wished she'd made more of an effort. Carly Red, never one to shy away from drama, went live on Instagram, promising to expose everything the world needs to know. Before long, even old rivals showed up with condolences and subtle jabs, some accusing others of faking it for the cameras, while others hinted at betrayal behind closed doors. Fans debated every post, searching for clues, and the family was left divided as old wounds reopened in the harsh glare of public attention. Behind the scenes, producers scrambled to secure exclusive interviews. They called everyone who ever shared screen time with Khadiyah, desperate for details. Some former cast members refused to speak, afraid of reigniting old conflicts. Others saw it as their moment to shine. In a shocking twist, a leaked group chat surfaced, online messages flying back and forth between castmates, accusing each other of turning their backs on Khadiyah, of not answering calls, of spreading lies. In one message, someone wrote, "Don't pretend you cared when you ignored her for years." Another fired back, "At least I didn't exploit her pain." The group chat was quickly deleted, but screenshots spread like wildfire, fueling the flames of suspicion. Through it all, Jock's silence spoke volumes. Stayed off social media, refusing every interview request, and only his closest friends knew just how bad things had gotten. His ex, who'd been through her own battles with him, showed up at his door late one night. The two sat in silence for hours, broken only by quiet sobs and whispered regrets. She told him, "You have to face this for her and for yourself." Jock shook his head, but deep down, he knew she was right. Fans are shocked to learn that he started drafting a letter to Khadiyah's family, unable to find the words to express the ache in his chest. As funeral plans came together, more secrets surfaced. An anonymous source hinted that Khadiyah's passing wasn't as simple as it seemed. They claimed she'd been struggling with more than just old heartbreaks. There were financial troubles, health issues, and a circle of friends who weren't always looking out for her. Whispers of a possible betrayal by someone she trusted began to swirl. Some fans speculated that she'd been planning a big reveal before her death, perhaps even a tell-all book or a new podcast. Emotions ran high as everyone tried to piece together what had really happened in her final days. The night before the memorial, a dramatic confrontation unfolded. Jock attended a small, private gathering for friends and family. As the room grew quiet, Khadiyah's cousin stood up, shaking with anger. "All of you want to talk about how much you loved her now, but where were you when she needed you?" Voices rose. One of Jock's friends snapped back, "Don't put this on us. We all tried, but she pushed people away." The argument spiraled, emotions raw and voices shaking. At one point, Jock stood up, fists clenched, voice barely more than a whisper. "We all failed her. Every single one of us." The confession hung in the air, heavy and heartbreaking. As tears spilled down faces throughout the room, that night, Atlanta felt like a city under a storm cloud. Fans held a candlelight vigil outside the old Love and Hip Hop filming location, sharing stories, singing her favorite songs, and hoping for closure that seemed more impossible with every new revelation. Whispers about a hidden diary, possibly, in Khadiyah's apartment gained traction. Was this the truth she'd been desperate to share? Meanwhile, bloggers and YouTube personalities kept the rumor mill spinning, analyzing every word, every old clip, every social media post for hidden meaning. As the sun rose on the day of the funeral, lines formed around the block. The city was still in shock, the pain made worse by unanswered questions. Inside the chapel, emotions ran high. When Jock finally entered, heads turned. Some family members shot him cold looks. Others offered weak smiles. But all eyes were on him as he took his seat in the front row. Everyone wondered, would he speak? Could he even find the words? The city was holding its breath, waiting for a moment that would either unite everyone in grief or shatter the fragile peace for good. And that's where the real story, with all its secrets and heartbreak, was only just beginning, ChatGPT said. As the service began, the atmosphere inside the chapel was so thick with tension you could almost feel it pulsing in the air. Khadiyah's mother sat in the front row, tears streaming silently down her cheeks, clutching a faded photograph of her daughter as if letting go would mean losing her all over again. One by one, friends and castmates approached the podium, each trying to find words big enough for the loss, yet small enough to fit in the narrow space left between grief and guilt. Mimi was the first from the show to speak, her voice trembling as she recounted wild nights, heartfelt talks, and whispered apologies she never got to make. The audience listened in total silence, some dabbing their eyes, others stealing glances at young Jock, waiting for his reaction. But it was Carly Red's turn at the mic that sparked the first rumblings of drama. She started by reading a poem, but her voice soon sharpened. "Some people only show up for the cameras," she said, not bothering to hide her stare as she glanced around the room. "Others are here now, but they were ghosts when it mattered." A hush fell over the crowd, then a few angry murmurs. Carly pressed on. "We owe Khadiyah the truth. She didn't need fake friends, she needed family." It was a clear shot. at some of the cast, and the divide in the room grew wider. Old beefs and resentments bubbling up in the middle of morning. Outside, the crowd of fans had nearly doubled. TV cameras jockeyed for position, hoping to catch the first sign of a breakdown or confrontation. Social media was flooded with live streams, each person offering their own commentary, their own theories, and more than a few wild accusations. Fans are shocked at the way grief had become a new kind of reality show, messy, raw, and unfiltered. Then came the most awaited moment. As the service drew to a close, all eyes turned to young Jock. He stood slowly, visibly shaking, and made his way to the podium. He looked out at the sea of faces: family, friends, rivals, and strangers. For a moment, he just stood there, struggling to speak. When he finally found his voice, it was barely more than a whisper. "I messed up," he admitted, voice cracking. "I let her down. I let all of you down." He paused, taking a deep breath, tears in his eyes. Khadiyah deserved better from all of us, but especially from me. The raw confession sent a wave of emotion through the room. Khadiyah's mother sobbed harder. Even Carly, who moments before seemed ready for war, bowed her head. But not everyone was ready to forgive. As Jock stepped down, one of Khadiyah's cousins stood up, voice trembling with anger. "Words don't fix what's broken," she said. "Where was this energy when she needed you alive?" The comment lit a fuse. Whispers turned to arguments. Two old friends of Khadiyah nearly came to blows before security intervened. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided, half demanding forgiveness, half unable to let go of blame. Meanwhile, outside the chapel, a bombshell dropped. A blogger known for stirring up controversy posted that she'd obtained a copy of Khadiyah's secret diary. According to her, the diary hinted at betrayals, heartbreak, and even a falling out with someone close to her that no one knew about. Instantly, rumors swirled. Was it a castmate, a lover, or someone in her family? YouTube exploded with reaction. Videos and live panels, everyone trying to guess the truth and debating whether the diary should be made public. As word of the diary spread, the cast grew restless. Mimi and Carly both denied any involvement, while another former castmate, Sierra, cryptically tweeted, "Secrets never stay buried, especially in Atlanta." The tension among the cast reached a boiling point. Behind the scenes, private group chats turned nasty, with accusations flying over who leaked the diary, who had real loyalty, and who was using Khadiyah's name for clout. Emotions ran high as everyone scrambled to control the narrative. Inside the chapel, the funeral ended in uneasy silence. People hugged, whispered, and exchanged wary glances as they filed out into the heavy Atlanta air. For Jock, it felt like nothing had been resolved. He sat alone for a long time after the crowd dispersed, staring at Khadiyah's photo, replaying memories of laughter and love, wishing for a chance to go back and make things right. He pulled out his phone, reading through their old messages, holding on to her final words. "I wish we could start over." As night fell, the city felt haunted. Fans held an impromptu vigil outside Khadiyah's favorite restaurant, lighting candles and singing her favorite songs. But with every flame that flickered in the dark, more questions burned. What secrets were in that diary? And would the truth finally bring peace, or just tear everyone apart all over again? With every hour, the drama grew. And the next chapter of the story was only just beginning to unfold. The sun had barely risen the next morning when headlines exploded across every gossip site and entertainment show. Khadiyah's secret diary discovered shocking truths inside. Fans barely had time to process the funeral before they were hit with a whole new wave of drama. The blogger who claimed to have the diary went live, holding up a leather-bound journal and promising to reveal bombshell confessions. That would change everything the world thought they knew about Khadiyah Lewis. As thousands tuned in, emotions ran high. In living rooms across Atlanta, families, friends, And even strangers argued about whether the diary should be revealed at all. Was it disrespectful to share her private thoughts? Or did the world deserve to know her truth? In group chats and comment sections, the debate grew heated. Some fans were desperate for closure, hoping the diary would explain Khadiyah's final days and settle old rumors. Others accused the blogger of exploiting her memory for clicks and fame. The family was left divided. Khadiyah's mother and sister begged the blogger to respect their privacy, while a distant cousin encouraged her to let the truth shine. Old resentments bubbled up in public, each side convinced they alone knew what Khadiyah would have wanted. Meanwhile, the cast of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was spiraling. Mimi called Jock in the middle of the night, her voice barely above a whisper. "Did you know about this diary?" she asked, her words shaky. Jock was stunned. He had no idea. "I thought I knew everything about her," he admitted, sounding broken. "But now I feel like I didn't know her at all." Carly Red, never one to stay silent for long, fired off a string of tweets blaming the producers for not protecting Khadiyah, accusing them of letting the vultures circle. Soon, the hashtag #Justice4KHADIGA trended, with fans demanding respect for her memory and accountability from the network. Behind the scenes, producers panicked. Meetings ran late into the night as they debated whether to address the diary. On air, ratings had never been higher. But at what cost? Executives worried the backlash could destroy the show's reputation for good. One even suggested pulling the next season entirely, while another argued, "The world is watching. This is our chance to show real healing, not just drama." Nobody could agree on the right move, and rumors swirled that cast contracts were being rewritten just in case. Young Jock, meanwhile, felt trapped in a nightmare. Friends noticed he stopped answering calls, spending long hours alone at the studio, pouring his pain into new tracks. The music was different, darker, more confessional, haunted by guilt and regret. He texted Mimi late one night, "What if? The diary says I hurt her. What if she hated me at the end?" Mimi tried to comfort him, but she was haunted by her own doubts. In a rare moment of honesty, she replied, "None of us were there the way she needed. But maybe the truth will finally set everyone free." The tension came to a head when the blogger finally announced she'd be reading excerpts from Made. Excerpts from Made. The diary live on YouTube. Over 100,000 people tuned in, waiting for the first entry. The blogger, clearly nervous, read aloud, "To anyone who finds this, please remember I am more than my mistakes. I loved hard. I lost even harder. But I never stopped hoping for forgiveness." The words hit hard. Fans are shocked as the blogger continued, revealing secrets about Khadiyah's heartbreak, financial struggles, and a betrayal by someone she called the one I trusted most. Speculation exploded. Was she talking about Jock, Carly, or someone else entirely? The fallout was immediate. Cast members released statements, some apologizing, others denying everything. Family members stopped speaking altogether. The fan base, fractured again, some accused the blogger of misrepresenting Khadiyah's words. Others believed every word. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided in a whole new way. Outside in Atlanta, another vigil sprang up, this time with fans sharing their own stories of loss and forgiveness. One young woman stood before the crowd, voice trembling, and said, "Khadiyah's truth is our truth too. We all need a chance to be heard." The crowd nodded. As the days passed, the city of Atlanta remained in the grip of Khadiyah's story. Every radio station, podcast, and gossip show had something new to say, with each twist keeping fans glued to their screens. Friends who once stood together found themselves on opposite sides. Mimi and Carly, usually thick as thieves, began to drift apart. Mimi wanted peace, wanting to move on and let Khadiyah rest. Carly, on the other hand, was obsessed with setting the record straight, often going live to address rumors and confront anyone who dared question her loyalty. One night, during a particularly heated live session, Mimi joined the call. And what started as condolences quickly turned into a shouting match. "You think you're the only one who cared about her?" Mimi shouted. Carly fired back. "At least I'm not pretending." "You disappeared when things got hard." Fans are shocked as thousands tuned in, posting their own takes and escalating. The drama emotions ran high. The family was left divided, now with old friends at war. Meanwhile, young Jock's silence became its own kind of headline. His Instagram was a blank slate. No stories, no new posts, just a single black square that spoke louder than any words. The streets buzzed with rumors about where he was and what he was doing. Some said he was working on new music. Others swore. They saw him at Khadiyah's gravesite late at night, alone with his regrets. His close friend Scrappy tried to check on him, knocking on his studio door only to be met with silence. "You gotta talk to somebody, bro," Scrappy pleaded, voice full of worry. Jock barely looked up, his voice a hollow echo. What's left? To say, "Man, nothing I do will bring her back." It was clear the loss had shaken Jock to his core, and fans wondered if he'd ever truly return to the spotlight. The producers behind Love and Hip Hop saw an opportunity in the tragedy. Plans for a reunion special moved forward at lightning speed. Leaked emails revealed their hope to bring all the drama, heartbreak, and unanswered questions to TV. Invitations went out to everyone, family, castmates, even a few surprise guests. Rumored to know the real truth about Khadiyah's last days, word spread. Fans are shocked at just how far the show was willing to go for ratings, with some accusing the network of exploiting grief for profit. Still, millions marked their calendars, desperate to see what would happen when all the players were finally in the same room as reunion day approached. Tempers flared behind the scenes. Mimi considered backing out, fearing things would spiral, while Carly threatened to bring receipts for everything she said. Producers leaked a teaser promising secrets revealed and friendships tested like never before. Social media lit up with speculation about what would be said and who would be exposed. Emotions ran high as the family, already fractured, braced for more heartbreak. Then came a twist nobody saw coming. A mysterious email arrived at the network's offices, claiming to be from Khadiyah herself. Attached was an audio file, her voice, soft but clear, recorded just days before she died. Quote, in the message, she spoke directly to her family and fans. "Don't fight for me," she pleaded. "Remember me for the love, not the pain. Forgive each other and let me go in peace." The leak of the audio clip was both a blessing and a curse. Some felt it was the closure they needed. Others saw it as another wound, opening fresh pain. On reunion day, the atmosphere was electric. Every castmate, every family member, every fan who managed to get a ticket sat on edge. The host, voice trembling, introduced the special as the most important episode we've ever aired. The lights dimmed and the stage was set for confessions, confrontations, and, just maybe, healing. The world watched, hoping for answers and wondering if there was any hope left for peace. And as the cameras rolled, one thing was certain: the legacy of Khadiyah Lewis would never be forgotten. No matter how the night ended, the reunion special began with a tension that felt electric, everyone on edge. Faces tight with grief and resentment, ready for answers, or perhaps just one more argument. The set was dressed in candlelight and faded photos of Khadiyah, giving everything the feeling of a bittersweet memorial more than a TV taping. The host, voice somber, wasted no time. "Let's talk about what everyone's feeling," he began, eyes sweeping across the cast. Not just as reality stars, but as people who loved and lost. Mimi was the first to speak, her voice cracking as she described the guilt that haunted her since Khadiyah's passing. "I should have been there more, not just for the show, but for her," she confessed. Carly interrupted, voice hard. "Don't act like you're the only one who cared. We all failed her, but some of us are brave enough to say it." The tension snapped, and suddenly, the set exploded with overlapping voices, accusations, confessions, and tears. Fans watching live are shocked, posting non-stop as emotions ran high. The family was left divided right in front of millions. Then, the host revealed the existence of the audio message, asking if the cast wanted to listen together. Everyone agreed, some hesitantly, others desperate for closure. As Khadiyah's voice played, gentle and pleading, a hush fell. "Don't fight for me. Remember me for the love, not the pain. Forgive each other and let me go in peace." Sobs echoed across the room. Mimi, Carly, and even Jock, who had held back for so long, finally broke down. It was as if her words reached through the chaos and pulled everyone back to what really mattered. But just as the cast seemed to find a moment of unity, another bombshell dropped. A producer announced that a letter had been found among Khadiyah's things, a letter addressed to someone in the room. The host read it aloud. "If you're reading this, it means I'm gone. Please don't let my memory become another story. For ratings, let my truth be a light, not a weapon. Love each other. Forgive me for the pain I couldn't heal, and forgive yourselves for the mistakes you made." Her words hit hard, raw and unfiltered, leaving the cast and fans in stunned silence. Outside, crowds of fans gathered around screens set up to broadcast the reunion, many weeping openly, others comforting strangers who felt just as lost. #Khadiyah Forever trended worldwide as people everywhere shared memories, regrets, and their own struggles with forgiveness. The city of Atlanta became one big family for a night, united by shared pain and the hope that something good could come from tragedy. The reunion special closed with the cast joining hands on stage, promising to support each other and to do more for others struggling with loss and loneliness. Jock, voice still thick with grief, looked into the camera and spoke directly to fans. "Don't wait to tell someone you love them. Don't wait to make things right. Tomorrow isn't promised." As the cameras faded to black, everyone knew the story wasn't really over. Khadiyah's death had changed lives, broken some hearts, and forced everyone to confront truths they'd hidden for years. But in the end, her voice soft, forgiving, and wise offered a way forward. And while not every wound could be healed, the journey toward forgiveness had begun. Fans left the reunion with tears in their eyes and hope in their hearts. Some called friends and family they hadn't spoken to in years. Others started new. As the final credits rolled and the reunion special faded to black, the world was left in a state of reflection. The grief, drama, and confessions of the night hung in the air, heavier than ever. Across Atlanta and far beyond, people sat quietly, thinking about the wounds they carried and the second chances they wished they'd taken. For the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta family, nothing would ever be the same. There were still unanswered questions. What was Khadiyah's final week really like? Would the diary ever be released in full? Or was there still another secret waiting to come out? Fans are shocked by how deeply this loss has changed everyone. And emotions continue to run high. JOC left the studio that night in near silence, slipping away before the media frenzy could swarm him again. He drove through the empty city, passing landmarks from his time with Khadiyah, replaying memories both sweet and painful. At a stoplight, he looked at his phone and saw hundreds of messages, some from fans, some from friends, many from strangers, pouring out their own grief and regrets. It struck him that Khadiyah's story wasn't just hers anymore. It belonged to everyone who had ever lost someone, ever missed their chance to say what mattered. In that moment, Jock made a quiet promise. To himself, to be different, to reach out, to make amends before it was too late. Elsewhere, Carly and Mimi shared a long hug backstage. Whatever had once divided them seemed small in the wake of real loss. They wiped away tears, promising to check in on each other and to use their platform to help fans who might be struggling with grief or mental health. The family, still fractured, took its first small steps toward healing. Some went out for coffee together. Some just exchanged numbers again, but all agreed to keep talking, to keep Khadiyah's wish for forgiveness alive. Meanwhile, the world outside moved on, but the impact of Khadiyah's life and story lingered. Social media feeds filled with tributes, calls for kindness, and messages about never taking a day or a loved one for granted. Reality TV drama had transformed into something deeper, an invitation for everyone watching to reflect, to reach out, and to heal. And now it's your turn to be part of this story. What did you feel as you watched Khadiyah's journey unfold? Do you think forgiveness is possible after so much pain, or are some wounds just too deep? Let us know in the comments below. Your story could help someone else find hope tonight. And if you want to see more real stories, more raw truth, and more journeys to healing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Stay tuned, because every life holds a lesson, and every loss opens a door to something new. Thank you for watching. And never forget, love, forgiveness, and truth are what keep us all connected. We'll see you in the next chapter.